So let's study reproduction in organisms, chapter 1, part 1. Uh, Lifespan. What is lifespan? Lifespan is the period between birth and death. Some organisms, they live for several years. For example, parrot can live for 140 years, whereas crow only 12 years. So lifespan depends on the genome, means it is decided in the genetic makeup of the organism what will be the lifespan. Elephant lives for 65 years, and the average lifespan of human beings is 60. Must have seen some people live for 100 years, but this is the average lifespan of organisms is given in this slide. The Before I start this whole chapter, please subscribe and share video with the students of class 12, so that everyone can get the benefit. I will cover the whole syllabus of class 12. Mm, uh, 21 videos I have already, 22 rather videos I have already uploaded from genetics. The first and second chapter of genetics I have covered so far, and I will give the link to these video along with this video. Please study from those videos also. Now, what is reproduction? Reproduction is a biological process in which organisms give rise to new organisms. Offsprings they are called. Reproduction helps in continuity of the species. Continuity is must if every organism makes their own type. So in on this earth, if the life is to be maintained, reproduction is a must. Two types of reproduction: asexual and sexual. Asexual is uniparental, means only one parent is required. For example, you can grow a rose plant from a stem of the rose. Whereas in sexual reproduction, two parents are required, male and female, and they produce the gametes. The fertilization of gametes give rise to the new organism. Here in this video, I'll discuss about asexual reproduction only. Now, the asexual reproduction, the offsprings which are produced from the single body, so they are produced by mitosis. Only mitotic division results in the formation of the similar cell. So you must have studied in class 11. So the cell produced will be similar to the parental cell. So the new organism will be exactly copy of the parent or the clone of the parent. It is also called clonal reproduction. The asexual reproduction is called clonal reproduction. Now we'll discuss about different types of asexual reproduction one by one. Budding, fragmentation, fission, two types of fission: binary, multiple fission. Then there is regeneration, we'll discuss encystation, sporulation, and then in the end we'll discuss about vegetative propagation. First is budding. What is a bud? Bud is a protuberance or outgrowth from the body of the main plant, which detaches from the body of the plant. Oh, sorry, plant or organism. Hydra, here you can see hydra. It's mainly in protistans, monrons, lower organisms, fungus. These kind of reproduction, asexual reproduction is so. So the body produces a bud which detaches from the body of the main organism and grows into a new organism. Here you can see yeast budding, and yeast buds are later on going to detach and produce the new organism. Yeast reproduces new organism through budding only. So budding is a natural method of reproduction. We are talking about natural methods. Later we will discuss about artificial methods devised by human beings. Here you can see a spirogyra. Spirogyra are filamentous alga growing on the water bodies, and the filament breaks and produces fragments or parts. These parts can give rise to new organism, means each part is a new individual. So spirogyra and bryophytes, they show this kind of fragmentation. Uh, the body of the Spirogyra has many nuclei, so it can give rise to new organisms. Fission. Fission you've studied in lower classes also, amoeba dividing by fission. Must have studied in your lower classes. Bi means two. One cell divides into two. So it can be longitudinal or by simple fission. Longitudinal, and then we'll study multiple fission also. So here you can see in the next slide, we'll see amoeba dividing into two amoebae, daughter amoebae, and each amoeba, daughter amoeba having a nucleus. The nucleus divides into two by mitotic, simple mitotic division here, a mitotic division. Whereas in paramecium also, you can see a figure of paramecium also. Paramecium, the nucleus divides and each daughter paramecium has a nucleus. So this is fission. Multiple fission. Example is plasmodium, which causes malaria in human beings. The nucleus divides and redivides to produce many nuclei, and each nuclei is surrounded by a little bit of cytoplasm. And these new organisms, daughter cells, they are released by breaking of the parent cell and give rise to the new organism. This is a asexual method of reproduction. In plasmodium. Regeneration, I have counted this in reproduction because here the body breaks if the posterior part can regenerate the anterior part can regenerate the lower part, so it is literally immortal, yeah, amar hai. So it can give rise to many planaria from their body parts. So the regeneration in hydra, planaria, sponges can give rise to the new organisms. In fungus, the sporulation is a sexual method of reproduction. The sporangiophores or the hyphae which bear sporangia, you can see aerial hyphae is sporangiophore or sporangia. They release the spores in the air and they look for the new bread, and rhizopus, you can see rhizopus, and it grows on the hyphae grow on the bread. Penicillium, conidia formation takes place in penicillium, and the hyphae which bears the conidia is called the conidiophore. Phore means to bear, so it bears conidia chains, and these conidia chains, they break away from the parent body and they grow when there is a suitable medium, uh, and give rise to the new hyphae. So you can see conidia germinating also. Zoospores. Zoospores, zoo means which can move. Here you can see the spores, they have flagella, so they can move. So zoospores. If the spores do not have flagella, they are not called zoo. Okay. So these zoospores are produced by Chlamydomonas, and the nucleus divides and produce many zoospores which can swim in water, and on getting a suitable medium they will multiply. Here you can see encystation, amoeba-like organism. When there is unfavorable condition, there is less water, they get covered by some cysts or the wall, thick wall, which is called the cyst. And this process is called encystation, to cover the unfavorable conditions. Through the unfavorable condition they will pass. Here you can see gemmules. Sponges, they grow in water. They produce gemmules during their reproductive phase, and these gemmules, they will grow and give rise to the new sponge and adult sponge. Asexual reproduction, it is because they are not uh, only uniparental, it is, they are not two parents. So this was all about asexual in low organism. Now vegetative propagation. What is a vegetative part? Any part other than the reproductive part of the plant is called the vegetative part. Leaf, stem, roots, these are all vegetative part. Flower is the reproductive, stamen and the pistil. So now vegetative propagation, you must have seen uh, the natural methods and some artificial methods we'll discuss. Here you can see naturally the potatoes are grown in the fields. The eyes of the potatoes, they represent the nodes of the potato. The nodes are grown in the field, and each node has the capacity to give rise to a new plant. So here you can see a potato tuber growing a new, and here you can see a rhizome also, the ginger, it gives rise to a new plant. Leaf, example from a leaf, the potato, and that was the example of stem. Now leaf, bryophyllum leaf, it can give rise to a new plant. The notches of the leaf are producing the new plant, and which will detach from the body and grow into a new plant when in contact with the soil. Artificially also, the human beings, they are growing the plants in test tubes. You know, the cell, each cell has the capacity of the plants, has the capacity to give rise to a new plant. So tissue culture is the technique where they grow the tissues in small test tube culture medium में they grow these plant and the tissue, and then they are transferred to the field. So this is artificially the human beings are doing. And the sugar cane is an example of stem growing into a new plant. The nodes portion of the sugar cane give rise to the roots. You can see the roots also. So uh, these are the seeds of the sugar cane. They grow them in the soil and give rise, then later on this is going to give you a whole plant of sugar cane. uh, Water hyacinth, you've seen, it's called the terror of Bengal. It grows vegetatively. It grows abundant, huge growth is there, and it covers the whole lake of the, you can see in this picture, it has covered the whole lake. And this whole lake, the oxygen supply of the whole lake will be cut. So this is all about asexual methods of reproduction. uh, the second portion of the chapter, sexual reproduction, I will cover in my next video. uh, Again, I request you to subscribe the channel and also share it with your classmates or class 12 students, so that uh, I will cover the whole syllabus so you are able to study thoroughly. I am trying to cover the chapters from A to Z. Every bit of the chapter is being covered. So thank you very much. Thank you once again.